Hello, and welcome to my little corner of the cosmic universe. This is High Priestess Indigo here, and I'm back with another reading for the collective. So let's just jump right in. We'll start with a prayer. Almighty God, we ask that you bless and cover this message. May it be for your divine purpose. Block, bind, and return to sender any and all negative energy or entities. God, I ask that you touch each and every person under the sound of my voice. You know exactly what they need and what they're going through. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So let's start with the subconscious cards. These could be past, present, or future. Take it how it resonates. Interchange the sexes as you need to. Energy is fluid. So here you have it. A gap between your success and fulfillment. A disconnect between achieving external success and experiencing internal fulfillment, highlighting the disparity between worldly accomplishments and genuine happiness or satisfaction. So, this is that owning things but not letting things own you, because sometimes you can get all the things that you feel like you want and still not be happy. And that's the difference between having things and things having you. Needing to address fear of success, subconscious fear or beliefs that hinder the pursuit of personal and professional achievements. Fear of success. Yeah, I know people always talk a lot about a fear of failure, but a lot of people don't talk enough about a fear of success. I call it in psychology they call it upper limit um, problems, or I guess where people can literally stop themselves from achieving more because they're afraid of like pushing against limits that even their mind struggle with. So fear of success always makes me think of that upper limit problems, like people who are like feel like they can only go up so high because that's as high up as they feel comfortable with or they're aware of. But yeah, addressing psychic sensitivity overload. Feeling overwhelmed by psychic or energetic sensitivities without adequate coping mechanisms. Oh man, I know this all too well. This is something that I struggled with when I was younger a lot as a empath, where I would come home and I would cry every day from school, not because I was like sad or unhappy, but because I just would like be so sensitive to so many energies. And it was, when you're young, especially like this is around like middle school age, um, you're in that weird teen, and a lot of people are insecure. And I would pick up a lot of people's like other, young people's energy. And it was just always this feeling of not feeling like good enough and like, but I just remember just being like really um having to deal with that sensitivity overload a lot. It's a thing that I struggled with a lot as an empath until I started learning how to have more psychic protection and how to really be able to block out other people's energy so that I wasn't always like kind of energetically all over the place. Needing to address a forgiveness blockage. Psychological barriers hindering individuals from granting forgiveness, often stemming from deep seated emotional wounds, resentment, or unresolved trauma. So, somebody that struggles with forgiveness, giving forgiveness, or granting forgiveness, yeah. Needing to address a true self disconnection, a state of being disconnected or detached from one's authentic essence, inner wisdom, and genuine desires, often resulting from societal conditioning, past traumas, or external influences. Yeah. So this card makes me think of this is I equate this to like more of like a people pleaser, and I know this is something that a lot of narcissists struggle with too, just because they don't have a true self. And so they're always disconnected from their true self. So yeah, that's a pretty profound one. Um, and the final card is needing to address a lack of purpose, feeling aimless or directionless in life, seeking constant distractions or, or stimulation to fill the void. Wow. So, yeah. So, those are the underlying subconscious things. So, let's get the current conscious. So we know what's on the below the iceberg. So, let's see what's on top of the iceberg. And I really like this Divine Headquarters deck. This is really great deck. Okay, spiritual guidance. It's first card out. We got Emperor. Okay, healing. Okay. Ooh, now will we know what you're healing from now? So this reading is for a divine masculine. You're coming out as an emperor, so you're already a divine masculine. You're very much in your emperor energy, and I feel like you had to seek spiritual guidance because you got in your past you were in a relationship with a Jezebel, and you had to do a lot of healing and you had to do a lot of spiritual seeking. Ooh, okay, divine masculine. Give me some more, Holy Spirit. Yeah, and your spiritual guidance came in divine timing, and I feel like we finna find out why it came in divine timing. I feel like this Jezebel almost had you caught up. What I'm being, what I'm feeling very clearly, your spiritual guidance came in divine timing because it was right at a time when this Jezebel was wanting you to sacrifice yourself. And when I say sacrifice yourself, and let me explain this because I feel like other readers say it, but they don't really explain what they mean by it. Um, a lot of times when people think of sacrifice, they think, oh, like this person literally is trying to like sacrifice you to the devil. Well, yeah, but not in the traditional, like, okay, they actually physically take your body and you're tied up and now they, doing some kind of crazy ritual and they're trying to sacrifice you at a ritual. What true sacrifices don't typically happen at ritualistic events like that. I know, like, that's the spiritual lore. I mean, back in the day, yes, that was, and I mean, it still happens. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it's now it's done more on an energetic level. And what Jezebels and narcissists like to do is once they trauma bond, like basically get you trauma bonded, and you're stuck in that kind of like um, spiritual bondage, like where you're literally kind of like you're tethered to them. They keep pushing the envelope on your self worth, and they keep doing things until they get you to a point where you're faced with a decision of, do I hang on to this situation, this relationship, and I keep hurting myself and I keep going through the cycle, or do I finally walk away? And it's literally like I call it the crossroad decision, where you come to a crossroad, and it's like you can go this direction and you'll heal, but that means you have to let go of this relationship that's had you in this cycle, and you recognize, and it's funny because before you get to the crossroad, you've already recognized that you're in a cycle with this person, and it feels very familiar. You guys have done the same song and dance. Maybe this person's gaslighted you for the umpteenth time. You've caught them in a lie for the umpteenth time. You've caught them cheating on you for the umpteenth time, and then all of a sudden you're at a crossroad moment. Do you And that's what I call the sacrifice. Now if you decide to stay with the karmic, or the Jezebel or the narcissist, you sacrifice yourself. That's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice they're usually trying to get you, the chosen one or the light worker, to make. And then if you go the other direction, you get out of the cycle with the karmic Jezebel, narcissist, whoever it is, and then you start healing, and then you get the blessings of God. But it's always, you always come to a crossroad decision, and the decision usually is, because the Jezebel and the karmics are really really good at pushing you to that point of self-sacrifice, where you you have to make the decision: do I sacrifice myself and stay in this karmic cycle that's a hamster wheel, or do I finally get off this hamster wheel and decide to go toward my healing? So your spiritual guidance came in divine timing, because this Jezebel had put you in a predicament where you were being that crossroad of self-sacrifice. Were you going to sacrifice your happiness and your future, you know, abundance and everything, all the things that you wanted for your life, so you could stay stuck as a slave to this person? Or do you want to finally decide to heal, even if it is painful, and walk away from this situation? And yours came in just the perfect time, because when that spiritual guidance came through, you chose you. You didn't choose to sacrifice yourself and stay in bondage to a lower level energy who was just going to keep you in bondage. That's literally what the decision always. And I can always tell in 3D relationships, when I see women, particularly, I could say this because I literally, a couple years back, I had to end a friendship with somebody who I loved very much, who at one point in her life used to be an empath, but she didn't know she was an empath, and she had gotten into the hooks of a really particularly nasty covert narcissist. And somewhere in there, and I kept couldn't understand why, like, no matter how much, like, kind of like wisdom and like things that I was giving to her, she wasn't getting it. And it wasn't until probably like a few weeks ago, um and it was something similar to the situation but unrelated. But in that moment, um Holy Spirit finally gave me the answer. It's like, do you understand now why this person couldn't get out of that situation? Because they had already sacrificed. She had already sacrificed herself for that relationship, for that narcissist, and he knew it, and he took full advantage of it, because she was almost like, the best way to explain it was, she was like a sad little horse that was on a string, on a rope, that was being led wherever this narcissist wanted to take her. And it was like she had no willpower anymore. Like, she had no fight left in her. She had no Her sense of self had been utterly destroyed, because she had, when her decision to either sacrifice herself or get the heck out of that situation happened, she chose to sacrifice herself, and it cost her herself. And that's usually what they want to do, because then once you sacrifice yourself, then they just crash you out in every way possible, until there's nothing of you left, and then they discard you anyways, still, even after all of that. you it's this belief that when you love somebody, you have to sacrifice yourself. That's a lie that the narcissists made rampant in the world. It's not true. True love, you don't never have to sacrifice yourself. As a matter of fact, true love don't require you to sacrifice yourself. True love only works when you are fully your full self. That's the secret. True love only works when you are whole. If you're not whole, it's not true love. It's a karmic relationship. What, honestly. So yeah, your healing came just in time too, because you needed to get out of this situation. Your spiritual guidance came just in time for you to do your healing, to get disconnected from this Jezebel. Yeah, and unfortunately, this crazy chick is chasing you now. Ugh, of course she is, cause you the one that got away, and I really do mean you really got away, because now what happens is when you escape a Jezebel and a narcissist and those kind of things, they become stalkers. They become obsessed. They, quite frankly, they become unhinged. And I heard a reader say it today. The reason why they become unhinged is because the entity that's attached to them can no longer feed off your energy. And especially since you're in your upright emperor energy, that tells me you were her primary narcissistic supply. So she's really chasing you because she's trying to get back that good energy she was feeling. But you got a new car, baby. And I feel this is the spiritual car. Like, you got a new car. She thought she left your car busted and disgusted, but you got a new spiritual car and you got the heck out of there. And um in the spiritual terminology, a new car means I don't remember what it means exactly. I feel like it has to do with your intuition. It has to do with like telepathy, your ability to communicate, and it's basically your form of spirit. It's like a spiritual um channel. Like, I can't, I'm trying to explain it best, but basically it has a lot to do with your ability to transmute energy, to telepathy, your intuition. Like, woo, yeah, because she was a dark warlock. Jezebel and a warlock. Ooh, what a nasty combination. Ooh, yikes. No wonder that divine timing came just in time. Just in time for you to get in that new car and get the heck away from this crazy lady. Yes. Just in time, too, because whoever this Jezebel is, she's going through karma right now. I'm getting storm warning. Karmic retribution. Yep. She's getting some nasty karma. As a matter of fact, you getting out of that situation is what brought it on. Once she didn't have your energy anymore, she was hit smack dab right on into karma. Divine judgment. Here it is. 1818 on the timer. You are a praying man, whoever you are, divine masculine. And I know you had to pray definitely to get out of the clutches of this nasty thing. Oof. Giving me the heebie jeebies. This karmic energy was real stinking. Yeah. See, you saw the life lesson. You understood the assignment. Once that spiritual guidance kicked in, and I feel like you got a prompt from your spirit team, your angels, your higher self, your ancestors, your spirit guides. They really were like, I'm being told there was like an alarm that was like going off in your head, like like, think of like the fire truck alarm, like where it's like when that siren goes off and they need to jump into the fire truck, like it was that loud that you were like, okay, I hear it. And when you heard that siren, like danger, danger, Will Robinson, and someone was like, get the heck up out of this situation, you was sprinting up out of there with that divine timing. You was sprinting up out of there. because you were praying to be freed from this connection with this Jezebel warlock. You understood, you felt trapped, and you were trapped. And when that came for that decision for that self sacrifice, because they without fail, they always push you. Because that's the thing about Jezebels and narcissists. They can't stop. Like, they have to keep pushing you to that final precipice. Because their whole goal is complete destruction of you as a person. And I felt like she was really pushing you to that precipice, and she wanted you to jump off. But the thing is, you did jump off, but it wasn't the way she thought. Like, she thought you was jumping off into destruction because you was gonna crash out spiritually, but you actually was jumping, and you were taking a leap of faith, and you were literally jumping into the arms of the divine, because you were like, I gotta get out of this situation. This is, you literally, you like, I it's hard to explain what I'm feeling, how you felt, but I just see it as like you literally felt like you were in the grasp of Satan, and you quite literally was. And so you understand now the life lessons that came with being connected to this Jezebel. You are a light worker, you are an emperor. Like, you understand now the spiritual warfare that you really was under being with this woman. And like I say, she's definitely still hot on your trail, because you were her number one primary source of energy. Mm-mm-mm. See, you're the ancestors chosen. You're chosen one. You're also, when I see ancestors chosen, I feel like you're the generational curse breaker in your family too. Because usually, when your ancestors send you as the one to come through for this lifetime, it's because they know that you have the capabilities, or they feel very confident that you're going to be the one to change the tide. You're going to be the one to break family generational curses. And I feel like when you listen to your higher self and listen to your spiritual guidance that was coming through, and you use that divine timing that gave you that, I feel like what I'm seeing very clearly, like, if you're doing like one of those, like, I think like Indiana Jones, and I think this is like Raiders of the Tomb, but he was in like that tomb thing, and it was like things was closing up, and it's always like that mad dash to get out of the closing or imploding, pyramid before it collapsed, but you gotta slide your way through that door real quick, and it as the door is coming down, I feel like I'm seeing very clearly, like, that's how you were doing divine masculine. Like, you were literally sliding for home like a baseball player, getting under that little crack in the, you saw a crack in the door for your escape to get out of this situation, and you took it. It was divinely timed, and you saw the opportunity. And when that door cracked just enough for you to squeeze through, you slid through there like Indiana Jones, because they knew you could. They knew that you would come up against this dark entity, and you would be the one to break that curse off of your family. Because I get the feeling that in your family history, spiritually, there was a curse over your family where the men in your family were constantly being led astray by Jezebel spirits. Like, that was the curse that was over your family. Like, they kept falling, each family member kept falling for the okie doke with these Jezebels. And you were finally, somebody in your ancestry was like, okay, we need somebody that's gonna come in and finally break this Jezebel curse, so that the men in the family will stop falling for these Jezebels. Why is it every generation of every man keeps falling for the Jezebel trick? You you broke that curse when you got out of this situation with this Jezebel. Not just for you, but for your family, like your ancestry, your bloodline. You broke a generational curse. Yeah, see, look at her. That's the next card. Cursed bro. I didn't even see I didn't even see this card yet. Hadn't even looked down at it. Cursed. Yeah, you had a cursed bloodline. Your bloodline was cursed. So this is just confirmation of what I was already picking up. Your bloodline was cursed because the men in your family in multiple lifetimes had kept falling for the same. I want to feel like it was the same entity too, like that same particular entity every generation in every lifetime of your family bloodline. Just men kept just repeating the same pattern, trying to wife up a trying to turn a hoe into a housewife, and you finally broke that bloodline curse, and now you're in purification. Like you're purifying, you're praying, and you're purifying yourself from the last remnants of this. Because once you're free, you still have to go through a purification. To even though like you break all the ties, you still have to go through a purification because you've been like connected to something that's dark. So I feel like you've ended the relationship with her for sure, but you're still going through some of the purification. Like you're still going through a little tail end of the purification phase. It's almost like going through a drug detox kind of feeling of like once you stop doing drugs and then you have to detox. I mean, I don't, I've never been a heavier than pot, type of person. But I mean, any kind of detoxification to anything that you've been like heavily connected to or anything, like anything can be an addiction. So it's the same feeling. Like you have to literally, you know, go through that detoxification, that purification process where your body is pushing all the toxins, is, same thing. So you're literally pushing out the remainder of the toxins that this Jezebel had infected you with. Because I feel like she had you in some not so nice things. You might have been engaging into some spiritual practices, or even dabbling in some sexual practices that you weren't really, you know, because Jezebels really love to kind of in the terms of the male masculine energy, Jezebels really show up more so when the masculine energy has had a prior kind of promiscuous sexual history. If you kind of like any and I say that because I've seen it a lot with people who were players, or they just like had sexual addictions. They're prime targets of Jezebels. So, and it seems to be a recurring theme. Anytime I see a man who was very promiscuous, or a player, they always wind up, a lot of them really get, when they do wind up like getting serious about somebody, it winds up being a Jezebel, because I think what they recognize as an energy, but they're not, it feels familiar, because what unbeknownst to the masculine energy is why the Jezebel feels so familiar, is because they're recognizing their own energy. Because when you're a masculine energy and you're in your promiscuous era, you're very much kind of little, you're been in a Jezebel energy. You got a whole energy on you. And because you got a whole energy on you, you attract a whole, the Jezebel. So that's kind of how that works. And I'm not saying that in judgment. It is what it is. Like, but I know that sexual promiscuity, being sexually promiscuous and being a player, like in that player energy, it never freaking fails. Most, even I can look now, even in my group of male friends, and the ones that were very promiscuous or very sexually, out there. I have one that just literally, I mean, like not even a month ago, like a little over a month ago, married a Jezebel. And I was trying to tell him so bad. Like I was like, um, because I knew something was up, because he would never bring her around. Like we're his like friend group, and like we're pretty tight. Like our friend group is pretty tight, and it was like she was a girlfriend from his past, and she came back out of the blue, which wasn't out of the blue. But I kept like that inkling feeling like, why isn't he bringing her around so we could meet her? And I didn't get a chance to go to the wedding because I happened to be out of town that weekend for a trip I had already pre-planned. But when I saw the pictures and I finally saw a picture of her, I took one look at her and already knew. I was like, oh, oh no, oh no. And I was trying to warn my friend because I had never even seen his wife, but I was picking up something energetically. So I was already like warning him. I'm like, are you sure you want to get married? And he kept like looking at me like, why would you ask that? Like, I love this woman and da 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 da. And I don't know why. I just kept feeling like I kept feeling compelled to ask him, are you sure you want to marry this woman? Like something like, why have we met her? Once I saw the pictures, I was like, oh, I took one look at her and I knew, recognized that energy, Homer. I was like, yep. And sure enough, had a conversation with my friend just yesterday, and he's one of those kind of masculine energies where like they talk about a lot of different things, but they slide in the things they want to like kind of confess in between. But you have to really be listening to catch it because they'll be like, oh, yeah, I was going to the grocery store and then, I had this deep regret about marrying my wife. But you know what? Then I went and bought some eggs. And you're like, wait, what? Like, that's how he would, he's very good at sliding those. And I feel like because after he got married, and like I say, he mind you, I'm telling you, he ain't even been married he not even 2 months yet. It's like a month in a week, maybe 2 weeks. He's been married, so a month and a half maybe. No, not even a month and a half. A month and a week. He's been married, and I can already tell you that man still slipped. He don't seem beneath the mask. That's why he slid that little comment in there when we were talking yesterday, and I picked up on it as his friend because I know him. Like I said, I already know him. I've known him for years now, so I already know his personality. But I heard it spiritually when he slipped it in there, and he was just like, he threw out the word regret. And I was like, yep. Sorry, I got off topic there, but not totally. But yeah, so I feel like that might. I'm not assuming, but usually, like I say, when I see the Jezebel energy in your past, you might have been a man that was very, out there sexually, and it could not be that case too, because I have some guy friends who didn't weren't the player. They were always like very monogamous, one woman type of thing, but they were always like trying to save women. And that's another mask that Jezebels love to wear. They love to mask themselves as women that are damsels in distress. That's another great mask of theirs. They'll wear that mask and rope in a decent man. And then once she has him roped in, then that's when the spiritual and emotional abuse starts. Yeah, she's monitoring you, man. I'm telling you, divine masculine. She's jealous. She's envious. I feel like she's aware that you're getting ready to get a divine counterpart. Cause see, that's the crazy thing. They know before you do. She's definitely watching you. She's monitoring you heavily. She is jealous. She's competitive, and she is definitely hateful. And she's waiting to see what's gonna happen. Cause she is definitely feeling like you getting ready to come into something new, and she wants to figure out how she can block it. Really. So you're being told to guard the spiritual door, divine masculine, emperor, whoever you are. Because this woman is going to make a move. She is not letting you go without a fight. Like I said, Jezebel and Dark Warlock, she's the combo. This is a nasty one. Guard your spiritual door, man. Keep, block any avenue that this woman can creep back into your life, because her goal is to get you back into bondage. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Wow. This is somebody, she's arrogant, big headed, narcissistic, judgmental. Like I said, you don't. Ah, I'm getting player energy, but I'm not getting it on you, Emperor. I'm getting it like this is her. Like, really her. This is who she really is. She's a player, and I think that's what you realize. This one, no like Susie homemaker girlfriend, like or wife, where she's gonna be at home and be a doting wife and raise the kids. No, she is she a player. She liked to play with multiple men. You weren't the only one she was playing with. The only reason why she wants you back is because you were her primary energetic spiritual source. But she ain't never been faithful. Um, I don't know. I just heard one of my older aunties used to say, "Ain't nothing open past midnight besides legs and Denny's." She wasn't Dennis. She was the legs. Sorry, my neighbor, music. They need everybody to hear what they playing in their car. Yep. See, this is why she's monitoring, because you got new love coming in. Your divine feminine is coming in. Like, it's time for y'all relationship to come together. You got new love coming. Your divine feminine, your counterpart, is on the way. And so, like I said, I feel very clearly. That's why she already looking. She got to see what's about to happen. She got to figure out how she's gonna block this and cause destruction in your life. And it's not from love. Mm-mm. This woman doesn't know love. This woman mutilated her inner child. You know how psychopaths like kill and torture and torment small animals when they're children? It's giving that kind of energy, but her, but she was that as a feminine energy. She was doing stuff like that. This woman is not well on any level, mentally, energetically, emotionally, or spiritually. She is like the word I want to use. She's a straight psychopath, like straight up. Class book, textbook definition. You look up the word psychopath, and her face is next to the definition in a dictionary. Like, that's the energy she's giving. This one is like, I see you're crazy, and I raise it 10 to the 10th power. Like, that's the energy she's giving off. 38, 38 on the timer when I said that. Ooh, yes. Confirmation. This woman has a demonic attachment. Like I said, she is not well. Sociopath, psychopath, narcissist, Jezebel, dark warlock, witch, whatever you want to term, succubus, Jezebel succubus. I don't care what you call her. She's got dark demonic attachments. So that's your confirmation if you was wondering why she was acting so crazy when you finally got out of that situation and she turned into a complete nut job. That's why. Hold on just a second. Sorry, I was trying to wait for my neighbor to drive by with his loud music. But wow, she's got a demonic attachment. Yeah, because that, like I told you, this woman wants you back imprisoned. That's how you were before. Before you got that, you saw that, closing door that was happening, and you slid in that door, Indiana Jones style. You made your prison escape, and she wants you back in jail. She wants you back in mental prison. She wants you back under her control. And she is not. Listen, you better be careful, man. This one right here is real sneaky. She real sinister. Don't put nothing by her. Don't. I'm being told to tell you, don't leave no food. Don't leave nothing you own. Nothing around this woman. She will try to get you. She will try to put something in your food, your drink. She will try to get something of yours to do spell work on. I don't know why. Like, listen, I'm being told very clearly, do not let this woman have any access to you. If she gives you any gifts, throw them away, burn them. Don't open them. You can literally more so just throw it straight away. Don't take anything from her. Don't give her anything. Don't let her get anywhere near anything you belong. But definitely don't let her get anywhere near food, or take anything food related or beverage related from this woman. I feel like like I said, I'm being told very clearly she's the type that will put stuff in your food, will poison you, will drug you, have you doped up. This woman is not well. Energy vampire, like I say, but I mean, we already know that because she's a Jezebel. They always energy vampires. Like I told you that, if I've said it before in another reading, Jezebels are like the female equivalent to the to the. I mean, it's the same. It goes hand in hand with the narcissistic energy. They're mirror energies. The narcissist and the Jezebel, they go hand in hand. They're like the how we have the perfect divine pair, the divine masculine, divine feminine. The narcissist and the Jezebel is the demonic pairing. There you go. Best way to explain it. Like I said, you are a praying man and you're a mature man. So, like I said, when I see mature man, that is not old in age mature. I think of you're spiritually mature. You have a lot of spiritual wisdom. You have a lot of spiritual gifts. You have a lot of spiritual discernment. Keep using that discernment to keep blocking this Jezebel from having access to your energy, from getting back into your energy. Don't let this woman get you imprisoned again. Because she's going to be trying. And she's going to be trying all the old avenues that used to work. But I feel like I said, you're in your purification. But you're being told very strongly to guard your spiritual door. Because, like I say, this psycho over here, even though you've done this healing, you got this new love coming in, you are in, like, she is, she's obsessed. Like, the cycle's closed. And she's supposed to have been stopped, but she ain't stopped. She'll crash out. Like, she willing to crash out to make sure that she stops you from walking into this new love. So that's why I say, please do not please don't underestimate this woman. I cannot stress this enough. Whoever you are, divine masculine, do not underestimate this woman. She is demented. She is demonic. And she is insane. In the clinical sense of the word and in the spiritual sense of the word. And she's only become more obsessed and more frenzied since she escaped. She's incensed because you got away, and it's making her even crazier. Like, it activated she was already crazy when you were dealing with her and y'all were in a relationship. It's like I say, it's gone up several notches since. It's completely unhinged. It is off the rails, and ain't no emergency brakes. So you've been warned here. For any reason, do not deal with this woman. If you have children with this woman, get a court mediator or another, third party to deal with that you can see your kids through. Don't deal with her directly. Don't do it. You will regret it. But the good news is you have graduated. You have gotten your spiritual wings from this situation. You're coming into your abundant era. So even more reasons to block this woman from being able to have access to you, because if she can, she's going to try to block this new love and do harmful, crazy things to your divine feminine. Like she's that, like I'm telling you, I'm going to reiterate and stress to you, she is that crazy that she would hurt your divine feminine. Like this is kind of woman that those movies Fatal Attraction, Obsession, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, the women, those she's one of those kind of women that they make those movies about. She's that. And if she can literally if she could kill your wife, I think like I unalive, excuse me y'all, I can't say that word. If she could unalive you or your significant other, that's what she would do. She is not well. She is not well. So that is the message. Divine masculine, keep moving forward. Keep your spiritual door guarded. Because, like I said, this one that you dealt with before, this Jezebel, dark, dark warlock with this demonic um, attachments, she is crashing out. And you don't want her nowhere near your new abundant future that you have coming in, because you're walking into literally the best chapter of your life, because you've done your spiritual work, you've done your healing, you've gotten your spiritual upgrades, you're getting additional spiritual gifts as we speak, and your divine feminine, the love of your life. Just keep that spiritual door guarded and be on guard, because like I say, this Jezebel, this one from the past, honey, the lights is on, but ain't nobody home. Ain't nobody home. As a matter of fact, if you look in there, you might see this sitting on the couch. So yeah, no, be careful. Be blessed.